Navigating today's real estate market can be tricky. Want to buy or sell a house, finance or insure a house, or stuck with a house and don't know what to do? Florida Talk Real Estate has been your local one-stop real estate shop since 2012. Get the advice you need from your local real estate pros. Here are your hosts, Jim DePola and Johnny C. live on Real Radio.
Good South Florida morning. We got you. Man, it is always awkward when you start with a little technical difficulties. I'll share those details with you in a moment here. Good to have you with us. I see you out there, 92.1, 101.7. We got 2 hours of infotainment for you. Florida Talk Real Estate style. Thanks for being there. Of course, if you're on your free download, your iHeartRadio app, we are worldwide. That's an amazing thing. And of course, I believe we should be live streaming. You can join us on Facebook, on YouTube. That's Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook. Florida Talk Real Estate LLC on YouTube. Home of a ton of informational chunk videos, plus a live stream on a Saturday. Join us anytime. You're more than welcome. And of course, speaking of joining us, you can hit us up toll free at 877-927-6969. That's a toll free number into the studio with your questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate. Don't be shy. If you dial in the first voice, you'll hear the melodious tones of our producer extraordinaire. There's my brother from another mother, Jimothy. How you doing, my
Hello, and good morning, Johnny. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you very much for asking.
Good to see you.
Always a pleasure. That's right, Johnny C. That's me, your old buddy, your old pal. Let's get your starting lineup on a Saturday. There's AJ Hollman over there with ExperienceAppraisers.com. How are you, my friend?
I'm fantastic. Good morning. Happy Saturday.
Oh, and happy Saturday to you as well. Always great to have you with us. Nice to see you once again. I like the quick turnaround too, by the way. I don't like the 6 months in between when we get to see you.
Yeah, 1 week, 6 days, 7 days.
That's a little bit more better from my perspective. And of course, always good to say good morning to our fearless leader now. 13 plus years now, I've told you that he runs a top producing Keller Williams team, the Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovations. There's Jimmy D. Jim DePola. How you be?
I'm doing good, Johnny. Who knew that you were a radio tech on top of everything else? Thank you so much. You saved the day.
So we come in and it's like, I don't know if this is going to happen. There's no power to a very important tool in the studio, the one that enables us to hear everything. And evidently it was just unplugged.
and you know what? I'll fess up. That might have been me.
I could have been me with my feet.
When I plugged in the thing that runs all the cameras and everything, I might have pulled it out too far and pulled the other.
Jim and I would have been here another 20 minutes trying to figure it out.
Of course, I blamed it on H. I say he plugged in headphones.
It was AJ's fault. Just to draw a picture, if you've ever seen the movie A Christmas Story,
oh yeah,
when the fuse blows out, Dad's over there. He's got everything plugged into one thing. That's kind of what we got going on here.
Yeah, pretty much.
I literally just had to plug a power strip into an extension cord that's already got 4 other things plugged in.
Into another power strip.
Strip.
That's Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, I was going to say Christmas Vacation. Yeah, when all the lights are into one plug.
Yeah, they both did it.
Oh, did they do it in the other one too?
Yep, because he put a penny in the fuse to make it turn on.
Oh, nice.
I don't remember, but I remember that.
Both. Yes, both of them. Christmas Story. I'm going to say they're probably both grossly stacked. That's very similar. Visual.
Yeah.
Of 1,000 things plugged into one outlet. Yes, very good call. That's funny. I went way more old school.
Right. True. Yeah.
Way more. That's funny.
It was funny. It's funny. The tech guy, Jimmy, I tell him that the board's down. The first thing he's looking at all the tech stuff, and I tell Johnny, he goes, I wonder if everything's plugged in.
Yeah. Well, you tell me, I'm like, move him real quick. I want to look where your feet go.
Yeah. I looked under there and I saw that boat. I had to come back over on this side.
I understand running away from that. You look down there and you're like, oh no,
I ain't getting under there.
It's 1,000 things to plug it down, and they're all going into one extension cord. It worked though.
Yep, that was it.
Welcome.
It's kind of weird. I just noticed that my Facebook page is not taking the comments we're putting on, so I don't know what's going on with that. We've had a little bit of technical difficulties today.
So it's
usual
what we call Saturday.
Yeah, it's just a Saturday.
That's what it's called.
It's showing that it's on. So good. It says you were commenting. It's Jim. Yep, it shows it's on. Okay, so good.
If you're a regular to this program, you're like, oh man, I'm so glad things don't change.
Yeah, exactly.
I like continuity.
Thank God
consistency.
Thank God they've only been doing this 13 years. Thank God.
Predictability and consistency will rarely let you down. We are very predictably consistent.
That's true. That's 100% true. Got a lot of good stuff to talk about today. We are going to talk about uh, this is the big news that a lot of people are not going to be, it isn't really on everybody's radar yet, but it could be. There's maybe coming a small wave. I don't want to make it sound like a
small
tsunami.
wave.
Well, not a
Okay.
tsunami, okay? Like a surfable wave, maybe. Okay. Not a little tiny wave, it'll probably be surfable of foreclosures that are going to be coming down the pike. There's some big changes October 1st. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And we're also going to
changes October 1st that may indicate a bit of a wave
of filings for
Interesting.
foreclosure.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And nobody's really talking about this in the main media. It's
We'll
kind
get
of
to it
more
shortly.
lower. We're going to talk about it. We're also going to talk about how you can get help if you aren't one of these people that are in trouble, and get reputable help and free consultations if you need that, because people are going to start needing that now. We're also going to talk about the market updates. The market updates came out, and it's going to be funny because AJ from Experienced Appraisers has done a little bit of analysis, but he's like me and forgot all of his statistics when he came.
I got
he
half
did all
the
work.
data, just not the stuff I
But
wanted
I'm
to bring.
sure, you're smart enough to memorize most of it. So
Sure,
we're going to
sure.
talk about that, and then compare what AJ's seen in his market, real life, right now, as he's doing appraisals, versus the big picture that the Florida Realtor Association puts together for the monthly report for each county. So that'll be kind of interesting to compare the two. We're also going to give you a couple of appraisal tips. One of the appraisal tips last week we talked about with AJ here. How you should prepare and get ready for an appraisal so that the appraiser has a good experience in your house, which psychologically should help you with the numbers, right?
Sure.
Today, we're going to talk about deal killers with appraisals and some other things later on. Also, we have a little special call-in. Natalie, who used to be on the show, Natalie Medina. She's going to be calling in because there's going to be a free legal clinic for people that have questions about stuff real estate and estate planning related. And anytime there's a program, especially from the Free Legal Aid Society, we're gonna let people know about that so they can get free resources if they're jammed up. I had two people just recently that both needed to set up either a trust or life estates because their person selling the home was very, very ill or very, very old. And I was like, if you're trying to sell this, you may need to set this up because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. So both of them went to Paul Krasker. Well, actually, one went to Paul Krasker, and the other one went to Paul Krasker, but then found out the VA does it for free,
Oh, very
right?
nice.
And the person really needed it, so that was awesome.
Yeah.
So we're going to show you how to do this for free and get free consultations. We have stuff like that, so that'll be a cool thing too.
Awesome.
But we're going to start out, if you guys don't mind, we're going to start out with shout outs first once I pull up the shout outs. So hold on here 1 second.
Here we go.
Here we go. Okay. So, wanted to do a shout out to Vic. We put his house on the market 3 days ago. We've already had 4 or 5 showings. I think we have 2 or 3 showings today. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home in West Palm Beach. Century located near basically Southern Boulevard and Haverhill, basically is the rough area. Geographic area where it is. About 1,500 square feet under air. It's got a large lot. Needs some TLC, so we put it on the market for $379,900. There's plenty of room to fix the house up. It's got a 2022 roof, right?
Nice.
So that's really nice.
And it's functional, right? I mean,
It's-
it's good as far as that goes.
It's
you know.
totally livable. So this is going to be an interesting test run because we had this off the market for quite a while, trying to sell it off market because that's what he instructed me to do. Not that I wanted to do that. And we did have a significant amount of investors come in, and they didn't seem to be interested at a lower price than we put it on the MLS. And now that we put it out there, I'm getting a lot of retail buyers calling, but I'm also getting a lot of investors calling now too. And it's so funny. The investor's like, yeah, you'll never get this price. I
Oh,
go,
if I had $1 for every time I've heard that.
yeah. And I was
Rich.
like to the investor, I was like, yeah, no investor is going to get this house at this price. I go, they're not going to buy it because there's not enough room to flip it. I go, but we're not looking for that. We're looking for retail value. And there is value to a buyer who really can't afford the high prices in Palm Beach County right now, you can get a home for under $400,000, 4 bedroom, right? 4 bedroom, 2 bath with a 2022 roof, metal roof,
Right.
30-year warranty on that roof, right? And
Nice yard, no HOA.
nice
That's-
yard, right?
yeah.
And just go in there and make it your own over time. You can definitely live in the house right now, and then it's just your home improvement project. And by the time you're done, you're going to have so much extra equity built into the house um, because of the work that you put into is going to raise the value of the house significantly. Because 379 for a 4 bedroom house in Palm Beach County, I looked, there was only 80 homes that are under 400,000.
Yeah, in the whole county.
Yeah, for the whole county, right? So this is one of 80 homes out there, centrally located.
Well,
Well, I'm sure people. I'm sorry. Go ahead, AJ.
what's good about that home though is that for somebody that's, it's at the top end of their range, right? I want to get into that neighborhood. I want that yard. I need the functionality of
I need the
this.
4th bedroom.
I need the 4th bedroom. They can get in there, move in, and then replace stuff over time. And a lot of people are willing to do that.
Mhm.
And it allows you to step into a home that you would, because if it was all renovated, it would be out of the range.
Exactly. So it's going to be really interesting. Who buys this house? Is it going to be a savvy home buyer or a first-time home buyer, or is it going to end up being an investor who's buying it? Right. So everybody out there saying there isn't stuff affordable out there, there is, but you have to be a little more creative if you're on a budget.
Yep.
You can't
Yeah.
just go in and expect everything to be brand new if you're on a tight budget. But that doesn't mean you can't be a homeowner, and that doesn't mean you can actually turn that tight situation into a very positive situation in a few years down the line.
Sure.
So anyway, we're getting a lot of action on that. It'll be interesting to see who gets it. If you want to see it, just go to our Facebook page. You can check it out over there.
Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook.
Wanted to do a shout out to James K and his family. We took their listing last Saturday. I left the show and went over there and took a listing over at the Villages of Sandalwood. AJ knows that neighborhood really, really well. So do I. It's all a whole bunch of those. I always call them Bergen Devasta. I think those are the ones
Yeah,
that
they were.
created.
Well, Devasta was the kind, and they're all over the state, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought
Yeah,
it was more
when I
like
lived in
South
Fort
Florida.
Myers, they were over there. I was like, oh my God, that's the same.
So
you
those
know?
are the four townhomes, 2-story. They got the weird mansard roofs. People think
Some
they
people
look
call
weird.
them like the mushroom style because they've got that
Mhm.
higher second story, or thicker second story.
And they all have a nice little courtyard, fenced-in courtyard with each property. My mom lives in one.
Oh yeah,
And,
I've known a bunch of people.
Yeah,
that live
everybody
because they're
I-
kind of everywhere.
I
Yeah.
I rented one when I was a reporter when I first got down here.
I've rented them, I bought them, flipped them.
Yeah, I've done all of that too.
Yeah,
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 you're
yeah.
right. So, where this house, I'm not going to put out the price yet because we got to do a little tweaking. They were thinking about selling it to a relative. We're not doing that now. So I got to reconfigure the figures because they were going to give a discount to the relatives. So we got to put it on the market. Needs a little TLC. So this is going to be another example of where home buyers can come in, get it at a lower price, definitely livable, and then come in and make it their own afterwards.
Nice.
That's what I did with my first home. I bought a home in Delray, and that's what I did. I bought a $67,000 foreclosure. This is like 94. And I bought a $67,000 foreclosure. And then over the next like 6 years, it took me a long time. I popped the top off the roof. I added stuff on the second story. I renovated every square inch of the house and everything. And it was fun, and I enjoyed it because I was young and I
was just
wanted to
gonna
learn
say,
all that. I
It's a
wouldn't do
younger
it now.
person's game, but I did that my
Yeah.
first 3 or 4 homes,
Mhm.
and they were little townhomes, Devastas, things like that, entry level. But yeah, I mean, that really supplemented my income back when I was in a whole different career.
Exactly. And then what happens is like 5 years later after you do that, right? Everybody goes, oh, you bought a dog, and you have to do all this stuff. And then you fix it up all nice. And then you see what your house is worth and they're still renting, right? Because
Yeah.
they didn't want to buy, right? And all of a sudden you're sitting on all this equity, sweat equity that you put into
And you
it.
got a couple $1,000s in tools.
Yeah. Yeah. I had
At
like
least.
a $40,000-$50,000 workshop when I was done. It was crazy.
Well, the longer you do it, the more of those tools
Oh, it
you get.
was so crazy. I was a pretty good woodworker back
The
in the
longer
day.
you do it, the more you realize, wow, I don't have any tools.
Yeah,
Wow.
I can't do. Well, I need to do this. I could either pay someone $3,000 or pay $800 for this tool and do it myself.
Yep.
I was so bad at everything at the beginning. I knew I had to buy the right tool for the right job because I wasn't creative and technical enough and talented enough to kind of wing it another way. So
I spent a lot of time at Harbor Freight.
I dovetailed just shot the 12-inch dual compound miter saw, sliding miter saw for like $199
Yeah, they're not gonna
there.
last,
They were
but
awesome.
How many of
Yeah.
these homes am I going to redo? How many times does this saw need to work?
Back then, the DeWalt's were like $500, $600. And you can get it for $200 at Harbor Freight. So if you had to buy 2 of them over 5 years, who cares? You're still under the other ones. Anyway, enough about that. Now, also want to do another shout out to John R. This is an interesting one. We're going to be selling his condo in Boynton Beach. He's got a 2-bedroom, 1-bath condo on an intercoastal community, 55 and over. Very affordable, Sterling Village.
I was just going to ask if it was Sterling Village. I love that neighborhood.
Yeah, and it's right on the intercoastal, so you can, like, in your neighborhood, you can have nice walks along the intercoastal and stuff. You're centrally located downtown.
We got a nice big pool there.
Nice big pool. The community seems like it's keeping their stuff together pretty well as far as
they got like 50 condo commandos that live there, making sure everything gets done and keep it tight, keep the budget low.
Yep.
They do. I mean, it's a self-run, and they really do control their budget, which is great.
He's doing some work on the house, so we're not putting it on the market right away. But when we do, we're going to be selling his house, and he wants to buy a 1-bedroom instead of a 2-bedroom, and he's thinking he's going to buy in the same community. So it's going to be kind of interesting. He might move from like one building to another building in the community somewhere. I've never done that before, so
good luck.
That might be interesting. Thank you so much. And I felt like there's one more shout out. Brian. Brian closed. Brian, the retired firefighter and Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office deputy. Thank you for your service. He closed on his home Monday in Dunellen.
Oh, cool.
We were so happy. That house did not appraise. It went down $32,000 below appraised value on a 355.
You mean below the appraised value is that far below the purchase price?
32,000 below the contracted purchase price.
You said below the appraised.
I'm sorry. 32,000. So we put it under contract at 355, and it closed at what's 32,000?
23.
Right, 323. We closed that. Huge savings. That's like 9% drop.
Appraisers.
Yeah, darn appraisers. I'm happy for my buyer. Feel bad for the sellers. So Brian was super, super happy. He's moving into his new home. Now, Brian had to sell his home in Royal Palm Beach. We had that house on the market for over 9 months, and it was the lowest priced home in Madison Green, which is a very nice community in Royal Palm. And we had the hardest time selling that property.
We talked to him last week, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah, he called in kind of random.
And he closed on Monday. So thank you so much on that. And I know there was one more, and if I remember it, I'll call about it. I'll talk about it later. I wanted to go.
That's congratulations for sure.
Yeah,
awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. I wanted to go into a fun. I always love these kind of stories. Oh wow. Hold on here a second.
Florida Talk.
Oh yeah, there it goes. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry about that, Johnny. He was so ready. He's like,
I'll fill
the
time. We don't need the the play-by-play looking for the article.
Yeah, exactly.
FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. You're on Facebook and YouTube as well. Know it, use it, love it, share it. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com.
It's just a kind of fun story. Orkin came out with their annual ranking of the most infested termite cities in Florida and also in the nation. So out of the top 10, my question is, does Florida have any rankings in the top 10 of all cities in the nation? And if so, how many cities do you think there are in this top 10 in Florida?
I would say we definitely do.
Mm-hmm.
And I say we're 30% of it. So give me 3 cities.
3 cities.
I'm going 4.
Or what do you think?
I'd say probably right around here, 3, 4. Yeah.
Yep. Wow, you guys are pretty good. 4. Okay, so number 1, Miami. Number 2, Los Angeles. Number 3, Tampa. Number 4, Washington, D.C. Number 5, Orlando. Number 6, West Palm. And then it rounded out is Houston, San Diego, Baltimore, and Dallas. So those are, let's see, but also 26 is Fort Myers, 30 is Jacksonville.
So see, we're not that bad. There's 5 other cities the termites like more than ours.
Yeah, we have we only have 10% of the whole of the 50. We're 10%, right?
I just would think the humidity, like the conditions would just be so ripe for it. That,
nice and warm, cozy.
Yeah.
A little bit of water. They're going to go.
I just thought that was kind of interesting. Just so you know. Some tips about termite infestation. If you have temporary swarms of small winged insects inside your home or around the soil outside, these are signs that you might have a termite infestation. Cracked or bubbling paint, and wood that sounds hollow when tapped. Mud tubes on exterior walls, wood beams or crawl spaces, and accumulations of wings or termite droppings.
Those mud tubes, if you just walk around and look every now and then, because I see them, they jump out at me when I'm doing appraisals sometimes. All of a sudden I'm like, oh, there, that's not good.
Yeah.
Do they look like wasps?
It almost looks like, like those wasp, almost looks like little cement structures that they make.
Yeah.
Just picture that, but elongated, running from your grass up your foundation wall.
Oh, so it's going to be lower.
Yeah. It's on the ground.
So the wasps
it's coming
are
out of the
elevated.
ground. Yeah. But this is like it's coming out of the ground, and it's exactly what it's just mud tube. That's what it looks. As soon as you see it, you're like, yeah, that's a mud tube.
Interesting.
If we don't mind, I think we're going to do the appraisal tips on deal killers right now, and then to round out this segment, if you don't mind, is that okay?
Sure.
So I was going to ask you, AJ, because we were talking about this over the week and everything. What are the 3 deal killers that can be caused by an appraisal, even when the buyer and the seller want to close the deal?
Ooh, I got one. Mud tubes everywhere.
There you go.
The 3 most common things that I see that are going to potentially kill a deal and or kill them the most often is going to be any roof condition issues, any rotten wood, and also paint issues.
Okay.
And I can go into those a little more, but the big thing is people think that FHA appraisals are more stringent. Oh no, this is going to be a problem if we go FHA. The problems that I'm talking about that stop the deals, they stop them whether it's FHA, conventional, VA, whoever it is, because there's significant problems that put the lender's asset at risk, because it's your asset, but it's their asset too until you pay that mortgage off.
And so let's go down one by one and let's talk a little bit about those.
Okay.
And like how serious they have to be to actually be in the report and stuff like that.
All right. So a good example of how serious do they have to be is going to be the wood rot. If I walk around we do the inside of the house first usually, and then I start walking around the outside and I'm looking for mud tubes. I'm looking for, all kinds of different things. But one of the things I'm looking for is deferred maintenance, and that gets to the roof line. Where I usually see wood rot, and especially where it's most often a problem, is on your soffit and your fascia. And so that's the edge right below the surface part of your roof along the outer edge. And that kind of barriers moisture from getting into the side of the roof. So if I see one spot that's a few inches, maybe a little hole, something that's fairly minimal, then that's not really going to be too big of a deal. But immediately when I see one, I start looking for 2. And if I see 2, I'm looking for 3. And so when you have that problem, it usually is not just in one spot.
Right.
It's usually that the person has let it go here and there. And so wood rot like that can cause a flag on the appraisal. And the lender can flag it. And the reason that these things can kill your deal is that, picture it, you're in the process. By the time the appraiser's out there, you've already had the home listed. You've shown it a bunch of times. You've got a contract. So now you're getting ready to move.
You went through the inspection already.
Yeah, maybe you've been through. Yeah, because even though the appraiser might get out there kind of early, it still takes us a little while to write them. So now you're maybe 2 weeks from closing. You got all your stuff in boxes in your living room. You're ready to go, and it's a problem that the bank comes back with. We need this repaired, and so it can slow down the process, and that can be enough to lose a buyer. And then there's the paint issues are kind of the same thing. When I say paint, a lot of people are surprised. I've had people call me really angry. Why would you flag? Or about another appraiser. You won't believe this appraiser flagged my house for flaked paint.
I've heard of that for VA, but that's the only time I've ever had to deal with it. Oh, no,
absolutely. It can be conventional too. It's any home built prior to 1978. Because in 1978, they started pulling the lead out of paint.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have worn paint, chipped paint, flaking, any significant paint issues on a pre-1978 home, it's going to get flagged, most likely. And that's whether it's conventional, FHA, VA, any of them.
Every time I hear about lead paint, I think about how good the chips tasted when I lived in New York and I went to New York schools. Because I ate a few.
This explains.
Explains a lot, right? I'm sure I ate a few lead chips up in New York when I was up there when I was a kid.
A little salsa.
Yeah.
So the last one's a lot more obvious, which is the roof, and we all know how bad insurance is now. So, and even the other day, I just had this on an appraisal.
Well, let's go back to cracking, cracking. So any kind of cracking paint, because the idea
it's
is
allowing it to release
the lead.
Yes,
lead either that you ingested, swallowed, inhale it somehow. Or
exactly,
like
it could be. And any realtor selling a home that's built prior to 1978 is required to give you a lead-based paint disclosure for FHA. But I think, I mean, I do it all the time. It's best practice. But I don't remember if
our policy is if your house is 1978
prior,
you get a lead-based paint addendum. Yeah.
But what I'm talking about, though, is that the part of that addendum, there's a manual that's specified in there, which you can get online through HUD, and it goes into what the specifics are, the threats of lead-based paint, how to mitigate it, how to deal with it. But, this is the thing. If you're getting ready to sell your home, the paint doesn't have to match. It just needs to have a good seal. So, don't be so lazy that you don't address some basic little things that can create a bigger problem later, and it'll show better while it's for sale. So, yes, you need it because of the appraisal, but why not do it before you list it, before you show it? It's going to look better, and you're going to have to do it at the end of the day anyway.
That's really important. I never knew about the crack painting for 1978 if it wasn't VA loan.
Oh, yeah.
I've only at one time I had a vet from U.S. Coast Guard member, and his family bought a house with me, and they flew back to Puerto Rico to get ready to move to the Miami base. That's where he's being transferred. And at the last minute, the appraiser said they wouldn't close because, and this was a newer home. It was like maybe, let's say 2001, and we were buying it 2005. But the skirt of the home all wrapped around, they put the sod in before they painted the house. And so when the sod receded over time, because it was a foreclosure, you could see a gray strip that was unpainted about 3-4 inches high.
And that's
all
wood?
Around. No, it was CBS, and it was all around the whole skirt of the house. And we ended up, I didn't want to lose the deal. The whole thing was going to fall apart. So I went down to Homestead with a bucket of paint and I painted the whole skirt of the house. Yeah. I didn't even tell the guys, right? I just made it happen for them.
I don't know why I could see it with wood. If it's unfinished wood,
no,
we flag that too.
CBS construction 2001. Yeah. It was weird, but I've only had that happen with VA. So that's really good. I love the show. I learned something. I learn something all the time for the show. That's awesome.
There's actually a specific spot in the form. It's on page 1 of the appraisal where it talks about hazards. And so your appraiser should flag that, even on that appraisal form being for any loan, right? As a potential health safety issue or health issue. So the other things, the roofs, and that goes from, even if you don't have a roof, but you have some ceiling stains that are legacy that have been there for years and you don't even notice them anymore. If I, as an appraiser, see a bunch of ceiling stains, or even a couple, if they look significant, I might call for a roof inspection. I'm probably going to, because appraisers don't get up on the roofs. Inspectors do that. So if we can't see from ground level, that it's a new roof, then I might say, okay, there's some ceiling stains, but there's a roof. I can see from the permitting, it was installed 2 years ago. They appear to be legacy stains. But unless it's a newer roof like that, I might just call for a roof inspection, and again, that can slow the whole thing down. Now the roofer comes, you got to find a roofer, you got to find someone to say how much effective, useful life the roof has. And that is a problem for your insurance. And so it slows down the process. And anytime you slow down the process, you run the risk of losing your buyer. So those are why I say they're deal killers, even though they're all things that you can overcome.
They're fixable,
Yeah.
but they can be deal killers, and
Yeah.
they're surprising. They're
The surprise
surprises.
is the
It's like
bad
an
part.
Easter. It's a bad Easter egg, right? It's like, hey, guess what you got to do now?
Yeah. What were you doing today?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and take a break. On the flip side, we're going to start talking about a very big deal of something that's going to happen October 1st that could really affect the real estate market. We don't know how much, but there's definitely going to be a ripple effect. Don't know if it's a tsunami, surfable, or just a little surfboard thing. I don't know.
Interesting.
But we're going to figure out. But it's important for people to hear because I think it's going to affect South Florida a lot.
All right. We got a lot to get into. Very valuable information. And of course, you're always welcome to be a part of the program. Toll free 877-927-6969. Should you choose to dial in right now, quick 4-minute break and we'll get to your phone call. If you're not comfortable on the radio, believe me, I totally understand. You always have Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook. You can reach out through there. And of course, the .com, the one-stop real estate shop that is FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Access to the entire team. You get pros, experts in their field. And believe me, they work cohesively together. When you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, you're stuck with a home, you don't know what to do. Anything going on that touches the world of real estate, we got a pros pro for you at FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. If you're old school, you like to pick up the phone, dial 888-973-7828. You'll find the hotline at FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. If you call in, it's answered by a live body 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's a beautiful thing. Remember it, know it, use it, write it down, share it, change lives, including your very own, with FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. We're back in 4 minutes. Thanks for being with us every Saturday. Florida Talk Real Estate, right here on Real Radio.
We're everywhere you need to be. Find your favorite show at RealRadio921.com. Here's what's happening with the weather on Real Radio.
I'm CBS 12 meteorologist Charlotte Carl. We are expecting sunshine to start off the day. We will see some showers and storms start to build around lunchtime. We'll see those showers further expand, developing further towards the coastline before they fizzle out and push offshore in the late evening and overnight hours.
This report is sponsored by the Harlem Globetrotters. This isn't just a game. It's a once-in-a-generation event. The Harlem Globetrotters 100-year tour. Come be a part of a legacy that never stops. Be there when history is made. The Harlem Globetrotters 100-year tour. Get your tickets today at harlemglobetrotters.com.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rao from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rao will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rao, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Camaronets, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
You're listening to Real Radio 92.1, and we are an iHeart radio station. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
That's it. Toll free, 877-927-6969. If you'd like to be a part of the program, please do not hesitate. Don't be shy. Dial in. Our producer extraordinaire, Jimothy, he'll line you up. At least, you know what? Here I am assuming. Jimothy, if they call in, you're gonna put them on the air?
Nope.
See, that's what I get. Makes an ass out of me. Doesn't it? It really does.
Happy to do it, John.
Oh, okay.
Keep me busy over here. Keep me busy.
Good to see you as always, my dude. Thanks for all your hard work.
Good to see you too, Johnny.
And thanks for being with us on a Saturday. Us includes AJ Hollman. He's with ExperienceAppraisers.com. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you too, sir.
And us, of course, always includes our fearless leader, 13 plus years now. I've told you he runs a top producer in Keller Williams team. It's the Florida Home Pros team at Keller Williams Innovations. There's Jim DePola. Jimmy D, how you be?
Hey, Johnny C. Hey, AJ. Hey, Jimmy. Happy South Florida, everybody else, and hope everything's going well. I want to get into this subject because it's going to be a little, little jarring maybe for some people, and some people might already be experiencing problems. So I want to go over this. We haven't talked about this kind of stuff in a long time, but the COVID protections for forbearance on people that couldn't afford their mortgages is expiring October 1st.
It hasn't expired yet?
No, to me, that's pretty crazy too. So this is what I want to talk about, a little bit of insight. And I have some really good stats about foreclosures in the nation, and also like a real life example that happened down here that might be a little glimmer of insight basically into what the bigger picture is with this. So I know of a homeowner that hasn't made a mortgage payment for over 5 years, and they're still living in the house.
Because of the COVID forbearance?
Well, here's the interesting part. What I found out is that they had a hurricane forbearance first, and then they slid right into the COVID forbearance.
Did they, and I know I'm way jumping the gun here, but did they understand what they signed up for?
The person was in a desperate situation, so they were taking any hope they could. So they're like a drowning person. So whatever, they didn't care who was holding the other end of the rope. They just needed the rope to
desperate measures call for desperate.
So you do what you have to do. Yes. And I don't want to. I'm not judging this person.
No, but the answer is yes. They did.
The short answer is, they didn't care. I don't know if they knew or not. They were so desperate. This was relief. They got the relief that they needed.
Gotcha.
I can tell you because I remember when we used to do short sales and loan mods and bankruptcy and foreclosure defense many, many years ago, almost full time. We had a lot of people that were very upset that we were doing that at the time, thinking that we were damaging the real estate market when actually we were buttressing it in my mind.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, so people are going to.
What's that word? Buttressing.
Buttressing.
So that's like supporting.
Yes.
Buttressing.
It's an old pirate's term.
Arr. You sure about that?
Didn't I use a pirate's term a couple weeks ago?
Buttressing.
I thought I used a pirate's term a
I
couple
was
weeks
trying to make
ago.
you sound more manly.
Yeah, so
I love that.
I don't think
So-
that's possible.
So
try.
buttressing is propping up, supporting,
shoring up.
and can I use that like in any way? I'm shoring anything up. I mean, buttressing.
But in this particular
Buttressing.
case, they started with
love
a hurricane version.
Right. So this person started with the hurricane forbearance. So what happened was they didn't make payments. Now we were warning people at that time, don't do it unless you have to, because the fine print was, and Johnny explored this for us for the show purposes only at the time. He found out, just like we knew, is that yes, you could stop your payments for a certain amount of period of time, but when the payments kick in, you got to pay everything back that you missed all at one time.
It's a big
It
balloon.
isn't like they
Yeah.
take it and put it on the back end of the loan.
Nope.
So a lot of people were doing it and didn't really need to do it, but they're like, hey, I could avoid
Yeah,
my
why
mortgage
not?
payment. And then they got jammed up later because
Yeah.
they had a bill, $8,000, $12,000. And like, I can't pay that. Right. So with this person, and because I just want to say this about this person, they went through a lot of personal issues, health issues, things like that. Very, very serious big boy life stuff. So please don't judge
Sorry
what
to hear
happened.
that.
I'm trying to explain what happened though. So she goes into forbearance for the hurricane. Then she slides into the COVID forbearance because she did lose her job during COVID, right? And she was never able to work again because of her health issues. So she's been living in there in a desperate situation. Now, when we went back and pulled what the mortgage was owed, there was all the late fees and the escrow payments that were missed. Everything was added on, the late fees, the interest, the penalties, it was all there. But there was a hidden $25,000 extra amount that HUD had. And HUD was the one that was directing the bank not to foreclose on the homeowner. And HUD was controlling that because it was an FHA back loan. So HUD has been telling,
But they can't foreclose while she's in a forbearance.
right, but they were right, that's true.
Yeah, they can't. I mean,
But-
they can't.
Well, they can't, but also the situation was FHA was telling the banks what they can do through that program, right? But they were telling them, don't worry that they haven't made a payment in 5 years. It's backed by us. So there's an extra $25,000 hidden bill there. And then I was watching somebody else. We talked about this briefly a couple weeks ago, where this data analyst guy from Tampa that I follow a little bit. And he was saying that there were 1 million of these FHA forbearances across the country right now.
It should be some stat that's kept, right?
Right,
It should
and,
be.
You would
Yes.
think, yeah.
Well, he was using ATTOM data analysis, which is a pretty reputable national real estate data analysis of like all the big stuff that's happening in the industry, not like granular, like what's happening in St. Pete or something, but the big trends. So let's go over a little bit. So what's happening is October 1st,
No,
all
I'm
those
sorry,
protections.
Real quick though. I'm sorry. That million that you're talking about in Tampa, that
Mhm.
million that's nationwide.
Yes, nationwide.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, the Tampa guy was talking nationwide. Okay. Now, what does this mean that the COVID thing's the forbearances end in October 1st? They can kick in the foreclosure filings as soon as that ends. So all these banks that haven't been paid for all this time, they can kick in and start the foreclosure filing process just like normal, like a normal foreclosure, right? And a lot of these people haven't made their payments for a very long time, so there's a lot of money owed. What's also going to be interesting is a lot of these people probably, not sure yet because we don't have the people coming in mass, but I'm sure a lot of these people are going to have equity, right?
Yeah.
They're going to have equity in their house. But
Yeah.
here's the thing.
Quick question though, real quick. In that forbearance, so they have to pay their property taxes outside of the escrow, right? Or excuse me, the insurance.
That was all paid. In this case that I saw, the granular one,
Yeah.
it was paid by the bank.
Okay, so for 5 years. So not only the mortgage obligation, right? The interest, and any penalties, but you're still going to have 5 years of property insurance that's been covered and 5 years of property taxes.
That was all included in the bill that we had.
Sure. But
And-
I'm in my head, I'm adding this all up. This isn't They haven't paid anything.
Yeah, the balloon's
all.
bigger than
I can imagine.
And well, here's a question: is that insurance at the normal rate?
No, it's
or is it
it's
forced?
usually 2.5 times. It's forced place insurance.
Oh
so the
my
bank
God.
does
So it's
like
even
2.5.
more
It's
expensive
even
than
more
normal.
than I can imagine.
Yes.
So the thing is, the interesting part though, unlike the last foreclosure wave that we had back in 09, let's just call it 09, even though it was earlier, is that they didn't have any equity. Most of these people have equity in their homes.
Yeah.
But here's the trick, and this is going to be so frustrating for people. They can't get into it. We've already had a couple of cases with Mike that called earlier this year.
Until they get flush, until they're caught up.
Well, no, because then they got to keep their nose clean for a year before they can even apply. They can't.
Right.
They have to have 12 months of perfect payment history
Oh, before they could refi or get a
before
home
they can
equity
even
loan or do
before
something
they
like
can
that.
tap the
Tap
equity.
it.
So even if they paid everything back in their current, they got to wait 12 months from that point,
Or sell.
or they're going to
which
have
is
to
what's
sell
gonna
it, which
happen
is
in a
what's
lot of
going to happen.
cases.
A lot of these people are going to have to sell their home because they can't tap the equity. So they're going to sell the home, and then the good news is they're going to have money when they leave. They're not going to be
Hopefully.
Right.
desperate. Well, most of them will.
No, I was just going to say that though, because it's not just the inventory coming on market. It's going to be offset by the fact that those people would stay in a home and probably will try to purchase something else if they can or figure something out. Like, I don't know. I guess
they gotta
not.
wait a
I
year
guess
to
they're
get
not
a
going to
loan.
be able to buy. Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
they won't be able to buy.
Yeah. So what's
Yeah.
going to happen is those people, if you needed to take the COVID, you had to take the COVID because you needed it,
You
right?
needed
But
it.
there was a lot of people that took it because they wanted to take it and didn't really need it. And those people, if they played with this fire too long and they didn't just say, you know what, it's been long enough, I want to get back into graces. And now they're coming and knocking on your door and basically saying, hey, you got to pay up now, right?
Yeah, it's hard to feel bad for those folks.
Well, the thing is, those people, they need to know that this is what you need to know about this. If this little wave comes through, and I don't think it's going to be gigantic, right? But Florida is in the top 3 foreclosure markets, no surprise. Top 3, and we're going to get into that. Top 3 mortgage foreclosure prices. Okay, top 3 more foreclosure areas in the whole country. So we're going to get into that in just a little bit. We've got
You want to write that down so we remember?
No,
to?
I'll remember where we are, the foreclosure crisis. Natalie's calling in right now. She's going to be doing a couple of free events coming in to help people with some legal aid stuff. Some of it's estate planning, and some of it could be stuff like this. Hey, I'm in trouble with my mortgage. I need to talk to a lawyer for free. This would be a great group to talk to. So let's get Natalie on the phone.
Sure, there we go. Natalie is on the air with Florida Talk Real Estate. How you been, Natalie?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Happy South Florida.
Buenos dias.
Good morning.
We're all laughing in here
Yeah,
because
it
this
is.
is blast from the past. Natalie used to be on the show for many years, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, now she's in a whole different career. What are you doing now, Natalie?
Well, I still doing real estate, but I open up a business where I'm doing multi-services process. So because
Multi-services
I have a
what?
law degree in, it's a process. Process means that someone comes to me and say, hey, can you fill out these legal documents and maybe record at the court or fill out the blank legal document.
Oh, pro se.
So,
Very nice.
yes, it's pro se. Yep.
So that's pro se and buttress for those of you who are paying attention.
Yeah,
Those are
we
our
were-
words of the day so far.
They're
Love it.
making fun of my vocabulary. Yeah. So, and what's the name of that company?
The name of the company is Pangea Multi Services.
Okay, great. And I know that I've been watching on Facebook, and you've been doing a bunch of events all over the county with a bunch of different groups, and you got one coming up soon. Is that correct?
Yes,
And
that's correct. So, go ahead.
no, and the groups are I saw it was the Palm Beach County Economic Development Board, Free Legal Aid Society, your group, Pangea, Multi Services, and I think there was another group, a county group being represented.
Yes. So this is what I'm doing right now, Jim. You know, my background is always helping our community. is it either in real estate or information that Palm Beach County offers to all of us. So, because I've been going through it, to every city's meeting, probably like 6 months ago, I met a representative of Palm Beach County from the Department of Housing and Economic Development, and they were talking about all these free programs that there is in place for homeowners and business owners in Palm Beach County. So Palm Beach County has a lot of money to give away to business owners. And right now, the reason that I'm calling is Palm Beach County has a lot of funds right now that they're offering only to homeowners that live in Palm Beach County. They can do a free estate planning with Legal Aid Society.
Nice.
So this workshop is going to be on Thursday, October 2nd, from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. So this is how it works. So the representative from Palm Beach County, from the Department of Housing and Economic Development, and the Legal Aid Society are going to do this free workshop and free estate planning, which means testament, living will, healthcare surrogate, ladybird deed. If you have issues on your deed, they can fix those. If you are in the process of probate, they will assist any homeowners in Palm Beach County with free services. And these ones are free legal services. And the attorneys are just wonderful.
And
So,
yeah, let me just chime in here just for a second, Natalie. Because you're describing it really well. Let me tell you in real life that people need this stuff all the time. A lot of people, I come to their house. They've done ladybird deeds on the kitchen table, literally like on a napkin or a piece of paper, and they write stuff, and then they have each person sign it like it's really witnessed and everything, and they think it, and they really think it's good.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. All of those people who were afraid, of calling an attorney because they felt it was too expensive, and in most cases, it's a couple $100. It's not a lot of money. But if you haven't done that and you're afraid of calling attorneys because you're afraid of costs, this is a great event.
This is a really
great event. All those people that have done this and go, I don't know if I did it right. You can go here for free and find out if you did it right or not.
And if you haven't done it, you can find out what you should be doing.
Yeah,
I'm
so
sure.
This is a great event.
That's great.
Natalie, I'm sorry to interrupt. Yes. I wanted to bring that up.
No, that's okay. But yes, I believe that everyone in Palm Beach County should have their affairs in order. I did. My parents did. So I did one workshop in Spanish, and it was a success. Why? Because people don't understand these legal matters on estate planning. People don't like to talk about death. And you have to have your documents in order, testament. The only thing that they don't do is they don't do trust, but they do all the documents. And a ladybird deed must be done. Number one, for a reputable title company, and second, with a real estate attorney. Please don't have a paralegal or an attorney who does family law or an immigration law or even a notary public. Do not do those ladybird deeds with these people, because there is certain language that it must be in there so it can be effective when the person passes, right? And then you take that, you're going to avoid probate. But if a deed is made wrong and you go in front of a judge because you have a probate, some people screwed up people's deeds. I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to send it to a title company, and I'm like, hey, I'm not an expert on a deed, but what I can read in here, this is wrong. That doesn't have heads and legs, nothing. So people, please they need to go to the right people to do your deeds on your house.
And
They
this
have
is
to make sure that those deeds has been recorded.
and where in Green Acres is this going to be?
Okay, so I had to thank Dr. Philip Harris, who is the director of the development department at the city of Green Acres, that he let us use their space at the city hall, at Green Acres City Hall. So the address is 5800 Melaleuca Lane in Green Acres. So it's gonna be inside of the city hall.
It's also if you can't
Thursday?
spell Melaleuca, it's also 6th Avenue South is
I was going to say,
Melaleuca.
isn't that right by like that's just east of?
Melaleuca is 6th Avenue
No,
South.
no, no. I'm saying this location, the
it's
city
east-
hall. It's east of Jog on
Yes,
6th, right?
east
On the
of Jog
south
on
side of the
6th,
road
yes.
or something.
Yes, on the
I think I've
south
driven
side.
by that complex. We used to have tree burning parties there back in the 80s.
Back in the day.
Christmas tree burning
I used to
parties.
love
yeah.
doing. I used to love doing
Yeah.
that out in the Davie when I used to grow up. I used to go out in the mud and go burn Christmas trees. The
Oh yeah,
cinders go up
it's
like crazy.
amazing how high they get.
Natalie, and everybody else listening, I did put it on our Facebook page, the post. So the whole flyer's
Thank
there,
you
so you
so
can
much.
have all the information at Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook. Anybody that is having any kind of issues with their property, or they want to transfer it to a relative, or protect themselves from probate, or have probate questions, or any legal aid society questions, this is a great event to go to. It's
It's
free.
amazing. I might
You're
go to
getting
this thing
reputable
just to
people.
go. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, that's I wish I would have known about this the last month. You know how many clients I've done appraisals for?
Oh, that could have
That
used
probably
these
could. I'll
services.
call everybody that I'm doing work for right now.
Awesome.
But yeah,
Great.
that's real helpful.
Well, Natalie, thank you so
Yes.
much for calling in.
Thank you, Jim. Please share this valuable information, because if you are a homeowner and live in Palm Beach County, you should take advantage of this, because there is money out there for all of us.
Yeah, and there are a bunch of programs that they'll talk about out there too.
Excellent.
Okay.
Natalie, thank
Yes,
you very
we can
much
talk
for your
about the other
time. Thanks for
programs.
being so awesome, and have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice weekend, guys.
Okay.
bye-bye
Thanks.
now.
Have a
So,
great weekend.
as Jim noted, you can find all those details on the Florida Talk Real Estate Facebook page. And as we always say, when it comes to FloridaTalkRealEstate.com, know it, use it, love it. We say share it, because you never know if you hit share, right? So hit share on that Facebook page if you're
Thank
on
you.
Facebook. You might just absolutely put somebody that needs this in a great position.
Mhm.
And this is the kind of stuff that, even your closest people don't share this kind of details about their life. You could be helping them out tremendously without even knowing it. So innocent enough, just hit a like and share, and you can change lives. That's a beautiful thing.
Thank you so much. Why don't we go ahead? I know it's like 2 minutes early. Let's go ahead and take the break if you don't mind.
Sure.
And then
Right on.
on the flip side, we're going to continue with the foreclosure thing on October 1st. I wanted to bring up the meeting that Natalie's going to be in, because those legal aid society people, if you're in trouble with your mortgage, that might be a great resource for you to go that Thursday and ask the legal aid society some free questions. Of course,
Right.
we always got the law office of Paula Krasker
Of course.
backing us, and you can get free consultations with them too.
But if it has really become a familiar scenario for you as we're mentioning this, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's me. If you know you've been in a forbearance and you're not quite sure what's going to happen, that might be a really good event for you to attend. Even if you end up going elsewhere for your help, get the information. It is powerful. Information is, and going to people that are good at what they do is very important. That's why we offer you FloridaTalkRealEstate.com, the one-stop real estate shop. Buying a home, selling a home, stuck with a home, you don't know what to do, and you need a pros pro. Well, FloridaTalkRealEstate.com is a click away. Know it, use it, love it, share it. You can change lives, including your very own, with the pros of FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. 4 minutes from now, we're back at it. Thanks for being with us every Saturday right here on Real Radio.
The visual aid you need for all the freaky stuff we talk about on the radio. Find it at realradio921.com. Here's the latest with weather on Real Radio.
I'm CBS 12 meteorologist Charlotte Carl. We are expecting sunshine to start off the day. We will see some showers and storms start to build around lunchtime. We'll see those showers further expand, developing further towards the coastline before they fizzle out and push offshore in the late evening and overnight hours.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rao from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rao will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rao, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Camaronets, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
From the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys Studios.
Have you been in an accident? Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 92.1 is WZZR West Palm Beach, an iHeartRadio station.
Make us the #1 preset on your car radio and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Listen for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
There it is, 877-927-6969. Plenty of time remaining on a Saturday for you. We take you up until 11. Pass the baton to the locker room. If you got a question, comment, concern in the world of real estate, would you like to get involved with the conversation at hand? If you want to bring something up that's not on the table yet, you're more than welcome. Dial in. Timothy, our producer extraordinaire, he'll get you going on air there. What's up, my dude?
Hell yeah. And good morning, Johnny. How are you, bud?
I'm very well. Thank you very much for asking, Johnny.
Awesome.
C, that's me, your old buddy, your old pal. Of course, AJ Hollman's here as well on a Saturday with ExperienceAppraisers.com. Good to see you as always, AJ.
Happy to be here.
And thank you for your time. And thanks to Jimmy D for always being here, too, our fearless leader. 13 plus years now, I've told you he runs a top producing Keller Williams team, the Florida Home Pros team at Keller Williams Innovations. There's Jim DePola. Jimmy D, how you be?
Hey, everybody, how you doing? We're going to be rolling right into continuing with the new regulations for mortgage forbearance. October 1st, all the forbearances disappear. There was a ruling that came out, or a memo that came out in January 2025 that stated very clearly they wanted to rescind all the COVID and other forbearances that have been out there and stop them and go back to regular foreclosure process. The other thing they're doing is they're telling all the banks, we are not going to, the federal government is not going to assist you with what's called relocation assistance for people that are in trouble with their homes. As you know, Johnny, many times we were talking back in the day where the banks were offering anywhere from $3,000 up to $30,000 to help you relocate after you move from the home. And the reason why they did that was, yes, it was a benefit to the owner that they had some money and some incentive to leave the home and not trash the place, right? But also that it helped the bank have the owners be more cooperative with the foreclosure process so they can grab the property and resell it when they need it.
Sure.
But now, no relocation assistance. Also, if you're doing what used to be called cash for keys, hey, I don't want to fight you for foreclosure. Just take the keys to my house and let me walk away scot-free and give me a little bit of moving money while you're doing it. No more moving money. If you want to do cash for keys, you can do that, but you're not getting moving money. All of these were outlined in the new order, executive order, January 25th.
I can kind of understand the difference because the market is very different.
Mm-hmm.
Many of those people that you noted, got some relocation funds, etc. The bank was the property was upside down. Like the bank was in a very different position with that property. The homeowner was in a very different position with that property as far as equity positioning, right? So I can see we're in a vastly different world. I can see a little bit of change in how it's handled. That's pretty dramatic to go from tens of thousands to zero, though.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty crazy. And we already saw that trend. I had a customer that we were trying to see if we could do a relocation assistance deal with the bank because they were behind on their payments.
Those were short
sale
bank scenarios more times than not.
Than not, yeah. And sometimes with deed in lieu of foreclosure, like the cash for keys.
In lieu of.
In lieu of, right? So instead of filing foreclosure against me, just give me the cash, give me the keys, and I'll take care of it.
And this time they're just like, nah, we're not going to play that game.
I'm having PTSD just remembering all this. It was horrible.
It was.
I did so many appraisals for Fannie Mae.
Oh my God.
I remember I did 7 in one day.
And then next day they were 5% lower.
Probably.
Because everything was dropping so fast.
That was the catching a falling knife.
Yeah,
exactly.
But
it was awful. You go in, you could just tell when someone's been forced to move out versus wanted to move out. And it was just heart-wrenching.
Yeah, it is. It's really sad. Now, I'm not trying to scare everybody and say, oh, that's what we're happening right now. And you're going to see the clickbait headlines saying that. But I can't tell you that we're there yet. But what and I've been saying, how long have I been saying those clickbait stuff on YouTube and TikTok-y stuff about the economy's going to crash, housing market's dead. A lot of that was like 4 years of predicting something that was going to happen and never came.
You can find a clip to support whatever you think is happening.
And I was always kind of here saying, where is it? We have 0.5% of foreclosures, right? Like how many times I said we got 60,000 properties for sale and 32 foreclosures and short sales, right? It's like ridiculous, like 0.5%.
Well,
1%.
let me ask, just because I don't know that my mind can wrap around the perspective appropriately. Would 1 million nationwide forbearances kicking into where they're going to lose their property, right? So the shift happens. Is 1 million nationwide properties in that situation market
a significant
changer?
impact for us?
I don't know. I don't view it. I think it's going to be a jolt. Like the people that are experiencing this problem are going to have real problems.
And I'm not trying to downplay their issue.
Right.
I'm talking about
them
the market effect.
Nationwide or economics of real estate, even regionally, it shouldn't be that bad. Now, I'm keeping I'm equivocating here a little bit, because like Tampa, we saw over on the West Coast with all those hurricanes, that economy is collapsed already.
Yeah.
The economy out there is collapsed as far
Sure.
as real estate.
So some
So it
pockets
could
may be harder
happen,
than
but
others.
overall, it isn't going to be. It's kind of be like the junk bonds. The junk bonds affected a lot of people that invested in junk bonds, and then the whole thing collapsed. But everybody that wasn't involved in junk bonds, who just went on their day, and it didn't affect them at all. That's how I feel like this is going to be. If you're sucked into this problem, it's bad. But a lot of people aren't going to be sucked into it. And to put another perspective, 1 million homes. We're going to sell a little over 4 million homes this year. Right. So that's 25% of the
yeah,
homes that were sold in 1 year.
That's a weirder way to frame it in my head. That feels much more impactful when you're doing 25% of the actual transactions of the property in the nation.
But there's something like 100 million homes or something. So 1 million is only like 1% of all the homes.
And we're in a general housing shortage from what I see, like not necessarily our particular markets, but as a country, they say that we're low on housing.
The number is like 4 million short is what I always
read.
Yeah,
that's what they're saying. I don't agree with that.
I don't know.
I do agree that we're short.
That's what the number they always put out.
They
is
do.
4 million homes short.
I think another way to look at this though is, let's go back to the Christmas tree burning, right? You throw one tree at a time on there and it's not so bad. This is going to be another log on the fire. It depends on what else is happening, because you put 3 Christmas trees on there.
Well, let's talk.
Let's talk.
You know, it starts to go.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the actual stats of foreclosure nationwide, and this is coming from this Adam Data Analytics, and it is a very reputable group. I've been following.
Yeah, they're tied in with the appraisal industry.
Yeah,
too.
they're very legit. So this isn't like some crazy. I don't want to say the names of some companies, so I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
The problem I don't like associating with the people that have been in forbearance, especially for 5 years now, because their economic situation is probably majority very different than it was in the COVID time, right? Probably, I like to think, just because of where unemployment sits right now, right?
Right.
So, man, to associate these forbearances with traditional foreclosure, it almost like throwaways in a way, because these are self-made situations.
Yes, I was going to say self-created.
They are. This isn't like I lost a job. Now, you did in COVID, got in the forbearance, but your financial footing is probably very different. And yet you've continued to allow, because of finances. I understand. I get it. That huge nut payment is impossible to step into and be like, I'm ready for it now. Because who's able to save that kind of money in 2025? It's just not reality.
And if you could have saved that, you would have been paying your mortgage
right.
anyway. So that's the weird part.
I get the whole thing, but it's not like, to me, those foreclosures are almost, they're not real foreclosures in a way, you know.
They're not traditional.
Yeah.
Environment
created.
And you're going to have extremes at both ends of those million. You're going to have 50,000 people that are fully just taking advantage of the system. And you're going to have 50,000 people that were able to completely get out of their problem and just haven't done it yet.
Right.
Like, it's percentages. You know, what I hate is when on the news they go, like last time, well, all these irresponsible people, or all these people that are, they throw people into this huge bucket. And it's like, wait, I'm one of a million. My situation isn't that. I have a genuine problem.
How many times when we started the show, right? It was very controversial. First year and a half, 2 years on the show, we were talking about use the government programs to save you. Don't go into economic failure because of all the problems are here. Use the programs that were created. They're there. Use them. We're experts in them. We're going to walk you through the whole thing. And the other thing that we created was not what we wanted to do for you, but the first question we would ask you is, AJ, we know you're 12 months late on your payment on your house. Do you want to save the house, or do you want to sell the house? That was always our first question.
What's your goal?
Letting you decide. I'm not swaying you either way, right? And then you would figure it out. And then based on that, we would go down the path and figure out the plans. And we always had what's called a waterfall.
Sure did.
We had plan A, which is if you wanted to save the house, we're going to get you over to Paul Krasker and do the loan mod and try to get you in a payment that you can afford and work out all the new terms of your loan. Now, if you got rejected on that, then you had what was called the short sale process if you were upside down. If you couldn't afford to sell the house and pay back the bank in full, we would step in and negotiate for the bank for you and say, hey, Mr. Banker, I know we owe 400, but I only can get 320 for the house. Will you take 320 as payment in full? That's called a short sale where you're selling the house, you walk away debt free. And if that didn't work, if you got rejected for that,
And
for
sometimes
some reason,
with funds, sometimes with relocation.
and
I mean,
sometimes
yeah,
you got money,
yeah.
right? Now the third layer of that waterfall would be the deed in lieu of foreclosure. If you can't get anything else done, you finally turn to the bank. You go, hey, Mr. Bank, I've tried everything else. It won't work. I really don't want to go through this whole foreclosure process with you. It's all going to screw
It's
up my
going to burn
life for
your
all
credit
this
and
time.
cost them money.
Yeah,
and-
so I just want to give you the keys to the house, and you give me a document that says I don't owe you anything anymore, and let's just call it a day, right? So that's kind of the waterfalls you have, and there are other things that are involved that a little more complicated.
Sure.
Sometimes foreclosure defense comes in. Sometimes bankruptcy is a tool that could be used depending on what you need to do. We're all experts on that. We've been doing it for a long, long time, and we haven't pulled out those tools in our toolbox yet, but they're all there, shiny and ready to go and sharpened when we need to use them. So let's get into some stats right now, because I know that there are people out here listening right now that have done the forbearance and are thinking, "Oh my God, what is going to happen to me now?"
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, the banks are coming. The banks are going to start filing. So let's look at national. So according to Adam, for the last 6 months, we've had year-over-year increases of foreclosures for the last 6 months in a row. Now, right now, in August of 2025, there were a total of 35,000 U.S. properties with foreclosure filings. What does that mean? That means you got a note that they want to sue you for foreclosure. They scheduled an auction to sell the house, or the bank repossessed it already. Okay, so it's either being noticed for it, having the house taken away, or the house is already sold out from under you. And that's 35,000. Now that was down 1% from the month before, but up 18% compared to 2024.
Huh.
Okay, now it says August marked the 6th consecutive month of year-over-year increases in foreclosure activity, and the 3rd straight month with double-digit annual growth.
6 straight month of year over year, even though 1 month it actually went down. So month to month, it's not necessarily going up, but year to year, 6 straight months that were higher than they were a year
So
before.
when this month, August, was down 1% compared to the month before, which was July.
But it was still higher August than August of the year prior.
Exactly.
Yep.
Thank you, because it does get a little confusing. Thank you, Johnny. Now, here's a couple other things. Nationwide, one out of every 4,000 housing units had a foreclosure filing in August of 2024.
1 out of
2025.
1,000?
4,000.
Oh, 4,000.
To me, that sounds really high. States with the worst foreclosure rates were Nevada. 1 out of every 2,000 homes have a foreclosure filing. South Carolina, very surprising to me. South Carolina, 1 out of every 1,300 housing units have had a foreclosure filing against them. Chico, California, 1 out of every 1,500 units.
They went whole states and then just took a little county in California.
Cleveland, Ohio, 1 out of every 1,700 units had a foreclosure filing, and Ocala, 1 out of every 1,800 units. Ocala, I'm really surprised. I just went up there and sold a house for help somebody buy up there for
equestrian up there is booming.
There's a lot of properties booming, and there's a lot of slow stuff over there. What I found out when I went up there, a lot of the new construction, hot. All the resales, dead. Right? Even older, even newer resales, like a 2020 house or 2021.
Must be the difference in insurance.
I bet you any amount.
Yeah.
Now, so that's like local areas, but the 3 states, Texas, Florida, and California, lead the nation in foreclosure starts. So this is filings. Lenders started foreclosure properties on 24,000 homes in the U.S. in August, down slightly, 0.2% from last month, but up 17% from the year before. States that had the greatest number of foreclosure filings in August: Texas with 2,900, Florida with 2,800, California 2,500, New York 1,200, and Illinois 1,100. So if those are the top 5, New York is only 1,200 and California is 2,500. So there's a big gap
But what's
between
the
the 2 states.
population of those states? Like they're giving totals, but that's not like.
Well, it's still the number of people that are in foreclosure, and that's what they're trying to focus on.
No, I know,
Now,
but I'm saying if California has twice as many as Texas, like I don't know what's the population of California compared to the population of Texas or Florida or you know what I mean?
Florida, Texas, obviously Florida, Texas, and
California,
Texas,
New
and
York.
California and New
three.
York are the top four populated states.
Right.
They are.
So it makes
So
sense that we would have the most.
It's true. But the other thing I want to bring up, only 2,800 foreclosure filings in the whole state of Florida. Palm Beach County sells 1,100 homes every month, right?
Yeah.
Single family homes, not even condos and townhomes, right? So these are still what AJ's trying to bring out. We're not in an avalanche or anything,
Right.
but they are seeing leaps and bounds, double-digit increases, even though that we're starting out very
Right.
minuscule.
The number we're starting at small, so it's a
Right.
big jump, but that's not in the statistic. But
But now, and this is without this
But with
report.
this real quick though. So we started this conversation talking about there's 1 million people in the forbearance, right? Are these foreclosures part of that
No,
forbearance?
that's what I was just going to
Okay.
say. This article has nothing to do with the
the other.
October 1st. I'm combining them together to show you what's happening.
and another Christmas tree gets thrown
So-
on the
so
fire.
what-
But they have ripped these out of that. This is a totally different equation. These are more traditional foreclosures.
These are just regular foreclosures happening, right?
Right.
Going
There-
on
there's-
normal.
The forbearance are still in forbearance. These are foreclosures that have happened.
Right.
Gotcha.
They're not protected by any forbearance laws because that ends on October 1st.
We're
So
not
what
there
I'm
yet.
expecting is that these numbers I'm expecting to jump significantly. Now, is it going to be like the tsunami that we had in 05, 06? No way. Not right now. We have to keep an eye on unemployment. That's going to be the next big thing. So this is the first shoe to drop, is ripping off the Band-Aid and fixing all the forbearances, right?
Yeah.
That's
And you
what's
would think-
happening right now.
You would think just statistically, easy for me to say, again, Florida, California, Texas, New York, we're going to have probably the most of the people in the forbearance. So we'll see our numbers probably increase the most, just, based on
Absolutely.
pure
Mm-hmm.
volume
Right.
of folks and,
Right.
and home ownership.
But statistically, if let's say it's 1 in 100 homes that are for sale, right? Just as a random number. And if you're in Pig's Knuckle, Iowa, and there's only, 50 homes that sell a year anyway,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's going to disappear into the rest of our stats until it hits a certain level of pain.
And here's another.
You ever
good-
been to Pig's Knuckle?
I have. They got a great bar there.
Nice.
Here's
Send me a postcard next time you're in there, please.
one last stat I want to bring up. This is the actual properties that actually were foreclosed on, and the bank took back the house last month. There were 4,000 total throughout the whole United States. There were only 4,000 homes that were taken over by banks. That's a very low number compared to what we're dealing with in the United States. So it's still small. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but this stuff is real. And anybody in forbearance, you got to understand what's going on right now, because you can't put your head in the hole anymore. And you can't think that the government's got your back anymore for that. It's time where they say it's been long enough from COVID. We're 4 years out from like the worst of it. And it's time to rip the Band-Aid off, and you got to start getting back with your mortgage payment. So that, that's what's happening right now. Whether you agree with that or not, doesn't matter. That's what's happening.
Right.
So there's only 4,000 in the whole country that were foreclosed on, but the ones that had the biggest, Texas, 475 of those 4,000, so 10%. California, 343. New York, 319. And Florida, 276. So there were only 276 homes in all the state of Florida that were taken back by the banks in August. So we're not talking about like that tsunami. Okay. What we are talking about, though, is if you're in trouble with your house, you need help, you need professional help, because going up against the bank when you're in trouble with your mortgage is like going to a gunfight with a knife, and you're not going to win or get the best results. You
Well, what if
need
you're smarter
experts.
than they are?
Oh, yeah. That works out all the time, right? That works out all the time, right?
Yeah.
They can't foreclose on me. They can't find the note. That's the smarter people.
Oh,
Remember
yeah,
back
yeah,
then?
yeah.
Those are the
Produce the
smarter.
note.
They were
can't find the
smarter
note,
than
I own it,
everybody else.
right?
They
Yeah.
can't find the note. I get the house for free. Yeah, have fun with that. How many houses did that happen?
I mean, I was looking
Like
for
5.
it, actually.
Nobody loves to procrastinate more than me. It's like a sport for me, but you really can't. There's just some things you just can't do it.
And let me tell you, we know this. We've talked about it so much. We've heard people crying on our show during the bad times, right? You can't sleep. You get no rest. You keep thinking, am I going to lose my house? Am I going to lose my house? How am I going to pay this bill? I don't know what to do. Who can I turn to trust? I need help and all that. We'll give you all the free advice that you need, get you to all the right professionals. Maybe you got a very complicated situation, and let's just say that law office, I doubt it, but law office of Paola Krasker isn't the right type of lawyer that you need. We'll go help you find that. We don't charge you anything, right? We're just here as a resource to help you. We're the one-stop shop.
That's true.
So just be real careful about this. So if you know anybody or if you're in trouble like this, I'm telling you, people, when they call us, usually they feel, and I don't ask them, they say, oh, I feel like a whole lift of weight is off my shoulders right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no denying that is going to be like instant relief. Even if you don't get the best news, just knowing where you stand is going to be a totally different place in your head. But man, we learned day after day, show after show, burying your head in the sand is not an option. It's not. It is the worst thing you can do. And man, running away from this is gosh, do yourself a favor, go to floridatalkrealestate.com. Just get an understanding of what can be done. Maybe sadly in your scenario there's not a lot for you, but don't make that scenario up. The reality is there are safety nets out there for you, and you don't know what you don't know. Find out what you don't know for free, and then look, you're already in debt. Stack it. It's the American way. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? Stack it, baby.
Put on black.
That's the facts. Don't bury your head in the sand. Please, 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 please don't do that. We saw so many years of people just being like, well, this keeps showing up in the mail. I'm just going to ignore it. It'll go away eventually. It doesn't work out well for you. But at floridatalkrealestate.com, you'll understand what your options are. Find out, please.
Thank you, Johnny. And the difference now compared to the last time we did this is you have to protect your equity. Most of these people have equity in their house, and to watch it be siphoned away from the bank on late fees and accrued interest.
Every month you do nothing. It's more.
Escrow payments because you're paying 2.5% your insurance, right? And you have to go through all that. Don't do that. You're sucking away all that money. You paid the payment on that house for so long, watched it increase, and now you're watching it all go away again. So be proactive. Be proactive.
And the lenders aren't doing this stuff directly, right? They're hiring a company whose entire job is to make money off of all of those fees.
Thank you. I forgot about that. The servicers.
Yeah, they're highly motivated.
Oh,
yeah.
And they're motivated to bleed you out because that's how they're really going to make their money.
Well, they really they appreciate you doing nothing.
Yeah,
it really
actually works out really well.
They will send you a Christmas card and a fruitcake at the end of the year because
Mm-hmm.
they appreciate you doing nothing because it's just more money they're making.
Well, when we first
don't continue to do nothing.
When we first, I'll just wrap up on this to talk about those servicers. There was one servicer that was based in Texas and West Palm Beach, right? They were the biggest servicer for all the foreclosures and loan mods in the country. And one time I had access through a security guard to go over there and check it out. The security guard, they said, this is our shell. And he kind of got me in there, and he wanted me to show the fax. They had fax machines back then, right? To file all the paperwork for your loan mod or short sale. Faxes, right? Single page sheets that you would send over by fax. And I went to the bank of banks of fax machines, right? And they were like little glass booths with a fax machine, and they had a bunch of them. Those, you couldn't open the door to get into the fax machine because the paper was falling on the floor for so long. It was so many inches high. You couldn't open the door to get into the fax machine. So nobody was looking at that paperwork. And you were sending away, hoping you were getting a loan mod or a short sale months sometimes. And then they wouldn't respond to you for months. And then finally say, I'm sorry, we can't find your paperwork. You have to send it back again.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was just crazy. So anyway, hope we don't go through that period again. I'm already getting PTSD talking about it. But if you need help, we're here for you, and that's the point.
We're in a very different environment market-wise, no doubt about it. But we are talking specifically about people that are really, really finding themselves in a hardship. As soon as October 1st rolls over, things are going to go from bad to worse for you really quickly. And don't let that happen. Go to FloridaTalkRealEstate.com, the one-stop real estate shop. Get the help you need, the advice you need, understand what can be done to possibly save your home or to get you out of there with as little pain as possible. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Of course, if you're looking to buy a home or sell a home, anything else touching the world of real estate, we got a professional for you. One click away at FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. You want to do a little break, or are we going to push through?
Let's go ahead and do the break. And on the flip side, we're going to ask AJ, because we had him 2 weeks in a row, so I'm picking his brain about appraisers as much as I can and everything appraisers. What are the three main situations when you should hire an appraiser? We're going to talk about that next, because
Perfect.
you'd be surprised. That's the answer to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, let's
least
find
I
out
get
how
surprised.
surprised.
Yeah.
We'll do it together. 4 minutes from now. Thanks for being with us every Saturday. Florida Talk Real Estate right here on Real Radio.
The bad news, the brain isn't all that great at hearing stuff and remembering it. The good news, you can watch us too. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Real Radio 92.1.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rao from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rao will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rao, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Camaronets, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. That's FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation, because FloridaTalkRealEstate.com has you covered. That's FloridaTalkRealEstate.com.
You're listening to Real Radio 92.1, and we are an iHeart radio station. This is Florida Talk Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
Still about 20 minutes or so remaining, 23 minutes or so on a Saturday. If you'd like to dial in, do it. 877-927-6969. You're more than welcome. Thanks for being with us every Saturday. Locker Room's coming up before you know it here. Jimothy's our producer extraordinaire. Locker Room is live today, yes?
Absolutely, 100%. And no Gator football, though.
Pretty good.
Their bye week. There's 2 bye weeks, aren't there now in the season? I do believe when I looked at the schedule.
I'm not sure
I was
about
surprised. I was surprised by that.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Could be.
Did you see any preemptions yet?
Yes.
You did see a pre-episode or
there's
2?
always one with Florida State because they always play that game at 12:30, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Okay. Yep.
Every year. So there's at least one.
Well, thank you for being with us on a Saturday. Jimothy's our producer extraordinaire. Johnny C is me. AJ Hollman's here. He's with ExperienceAppraisers.com. Hello, AJ.
Good morning, sir.
And, of course, Jimmy D. There's Jim DePola. He's with the Florida Home Pros team. Keller Williams Innovations. Hi, Jimmy D.
Hey, how's it going?
Goes well. So what are we talking appraising?
Yeah, we're talking about appraisers. But before we start that, wait, I'm sorry.
No,
What-
you're
what-
fine. Go
am
ahead.
I
You
going
look
wrong?
very distracted.
Oh, I was because I was reading some comments from PF and
Oh,
Magali
okay,
and stuff.
okay.
Now it's pretty cool. Now we got some of our listeners on YouTube talking to each other right now, going back and forth. So that's kind of cool.
Nice.
Okay. I want to just do one more little shout out member. So I knew I forgot something. The charity event, the charity that we talked about last week, the Knights of Pythagoras Mentoring Network, KOPMN. We were hoping that we were going to have a website with a PayPal link today so that we could tell everybody. I was going to put it on the channels and say, go out there and please support the group. But the kids didn't put the thing together right away. So we're going to do it next week. Okay. So what you need to know is the Knights of Pythagoras Mentoring Network. We've been sponsoring them for charity stuff for quite a while now. We helped them raise money for or had one of our customers donate a car to them last year. We also got a van full of materials, clothes, and all kinds of school materials and everything last summer. This year, what we're trying to do, I found out that they have a podcast on Facebook, KOPMN. Facebook page, and their computer's so slow that it isn't working well for them, so they need a new computer. These kids have been doing this podcast now for like 6 years, day in, day out, without missing it. They're really dedicated to this. These are all young kids. They're like middle school kids to high school kids that are learning these trades. We're trying to get a computer that'll be strong enough. We found an Airbook, a MacBook Pro that we're trying to get for $1,500. AJ was nice enough last week to say that he would like to donate. I have a guy named Nate S. from our Facebook fan page is also going to donate. I'm going to match up to $750. I'm going to match anything that's in there because I really want to get in the bigger computer so it'll last a long time. Anybody that would like to help, please help the group. They do great things for these kids.
Super cool.
Okay.
You might be able to check out their Facebook page and see a link on there, possibly. But as Jim noted, hopefully by next weekend we'll have a link for them.
We'll have it more set up more properly. And everybody, it's a legitimate 501(c) charity. It's a registered charity. You can actually get a tax deduction in case you want to give a bigger donation or something. And if you want to find out more about the program, just call me. I've been supporting them for 20 something years any way I can.
Excellent.
So AJ, we're going to get back to appraisal questions again. And this is always something that I always find interesting. When you go and meet with the seller, for example, and they're like, should I order appraisal? And I was thinking, maybe not. Right.
Yeah. A lot of times you call me and go, what makes sense?
Right.
For this client, this house, this situation,
So, and sometimes you don't really need an appraiser. And one thing I love about AJ, and that's the thing about our show with everybody, with Ross Camaroness from Brightway Insurance, and Mike, the mortgage firm, Paul Krasker from the law office of Paul A. Krasker, we always try to help. So, so if you feel that doing an appraisal isn't really going to be worth the money that's spent, I've seen you tell people, I don't think that you should do it. And that's what I love one of the many things I love about AJ and experienced appraisers. So let me ask you, AJ.
Integrity.
Yeah, integrity counts, right?
Integrity.
Integrity counts. So, what are the 3 most common reasons for hiring an appraiser?
Well, the most common reasons that people hire me as an appraiser, I would say, is friendly sales. So if you're selling to a neighbor or a relative or somebody like that, also if you're preparing to sell to the open market, they'll have me come out, help them set a pricing strategy, or like we were just talking about, we'll go into in a minute. And then also estate planning or step up in basis. So things related to somebody passing away, a date of death appraisal, trying to avoid your capital gains.
Okay, so let's go into each of those one by one. So let's just go in the order we started at.
Okay, so friendly sales, that the biggest thing here is that ignorance, right? Like it's your brother, your friend, your neighbor, whatever. You want to do a fair deal that's fair to all parties, but you're just not quite sure what that exact number is. And of course, you're obviously motivated to see things in rose-colored glasses or be like, oh, that place is kind of beat up. I don't know if it's really worth that. So by me coming in completely independent, unbiased, no skin in the game, I just come in and say, okay, this is what I think the most probable price it would sell for in the open market.
I just had one of those deals. We're going to be closing with Joe and Linda next in 2 weeks, I think. And they came to me about 2 months ago and said that they needed to sell a house they inherited, but they wanted to sell it to a relative.
Right.
And so I did comps and said, look, I know that I'm very confident we could sell for this price or more, which was significantly higher than what they wanted to sell to the relatives.
Yeah.
So I had to have a talk with them about that and say, look, you could do whatever you want, sell it for $1 if you want, people do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But I need to tell you as your realtor, because you're hiring me, this is what I think the house is worth. You're leaving some money. And you're leaving money on the table. They were okay with that, which a lot of relative situations they are. And the other thing you can do when you get that appraisal is you could start working out how to do the financing better. Yeah. So if you are selling it low to a relative on purpose, well, what you can do is if the relative doesn't have enough money for down payment or closing costs or things like that, you could work around the price and get a lot of money back to your relative who's going to buy the house.
A gift of equity.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen that on regular loans before. So that, that's definitely a reason to get it to. Oh, what was I just going to say? The other thing that I always tell family members. So I go, look, because they'll go, well, we want to give them a good price of this and that. I go, well, that's fine. My appraisal's still going to be the same. But, if you want to give them a discount from that, great, but know where your starting point is. And the other thing I always tell these people too is if all of my comparable sales that I'm using all sold through MLS because those are confirmable sales. Well, that means the seller paid 5 to 6% commission on almost all those.
Mm-hmm.
So you could knock that off the price because you're saving that as a seller. That's a cost burden that you don't have because you're selling it to a family member.
And you'd still be getting the same.
And you'd still be netting the same as you would if you sold it on the open market at full price for what I just appraised it for.
Now, what would be the second reason?
For an appraiser to come out? The biggest one is people getting ready to sell.
Mm-hmm.
That, sometimes they have a realtor or multiple realtors have come out, but I had somebody last week said, okay, I've had one realtor come in and it says they're an appraiser as well. Never did really confirm that, but they said, well, I'm going to make up some numbers, but I won't be that because I don't want it to be perfect.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But they said, well, your place is worth $900,000. Mm-hmm. And then the next realtor that came in said, well, it's somewhere around 2.5 to 3 million. And I get calls like that more often than I should.
You're hired.
Yeah. So, they'll have me come out because, again, they go, look, I want an unbiased opinion. You're not trying to capture this listing, so I know you're not motivated to maybe inflate the number to make me pick you as my realtor. So, and then other times it's just because, we were just talking about times that I don't appraise something. I had a realtor call me just last week, and I'm not going to say the neighborhood, but there you go. Look, I might get this listing, and at first they said the home's 3,700 under air. And then I started looking at it and I said, no, this home is 2,400 under air with a 1,200-foot attached guest apartment. And they're like, well, that's great, you know? And I go, no, that's horrible. Nobody has that. Nobody. So now how am I? Number one, it's abnormal to have a guest house that's fully half the size of your regular home.
Right.
And number two, there's no guest homes in this neighborhood or this submarket pretty much in general.
Right.
So I said,
hey, is it under 600,000?
No, it is not. No, it's not. It's about double that, I think. But you know, so I told her, I go, look, because her first thing was, AJ, I need you to come out and do an appraisal. And once she told me that, I said, no, we don't need me to come out and do an appraisal because I'm not going to be accurate. And it's going to cost you a lot of money for me to try to figure it out.
I really want to talk to you. I don't want to get too deep into this, but if you could give me highlights, that to me is so surprising to hear. And this is not the first time I've heard it. That's why I want to talk about it, where appraisers sometimes don't want to do the appraisal because they feel that the value they're giving is too much art and not enough science, if you will. If I'm using it that term, but like the log cabin home, let's go ahead and use that as an example. I had a log cabin home for sale, and log cabin homes are very difficult to comp because the banks a lot of times only want at least a couple of the homes to be log cabin, and you might not have a log cabin for God knows where. So, and this one had an outbuilding, and there was some other stuff involved in it.
Yeah, that outbuilding.
Yeah, the outbuilding was really rough. You know, to figure out what it was worth, and you were like, Jim, I can give you a value, but it could be the variance could be so wide
that it's not
worth paying the appraisal. So how?
Well, there's two different things.
Mm-hmm.
One is, as a standard for my industry, we do not take an assignment unless we believe that we can develop credible results. But that's a subjective term, right? How credible is my result? So that's one part of it, is that's like a legal requirement or a certification requirement. Then the other part of it is I always, when somebody calls me for an appraisal, I'm always trying to find, because I only do private appraisals. So they're never calling me for a loan.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, what is it you're trying to accomplish? Like, I know you know, and right away, I'm trying to find out what my home is worth. Yeah, no, I know that. But what I'm saying is that because you're getting ready to sell it? Or is that because you're, you know, what is your end goal? Because what I'm selling is peace of mind. I'm selling, trying to help you make a more informed decision. So my second qualifier on whether or not I should do an appraisal is, does it make sense? Is it going to accomplish the goal that this person's trying to achieve? In the case of this realtor, she wanted to have a good idea of what she should list the home for. And I said, look, I'll give you some guidelines on how I would come up with the number. And I'm just going to tell you to go do that because you're going to be able to do it as well as I could. So what I told her was, figure out what the 2,200 square foot house is worth on that lot with that pool, everything else. Then take the guest house, figure out how much it would cost to build that guest house, depreciate it, and add that on to the price of the 2,200 square foot package.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the most accurate thing in the world. It would be the best thing I could do to try to come up with the most accurate number possible. But at the end of the day, that's not rocket science. And a realtor could do that just as easy as an appraiser to come up with a ballpark number for listing and not pay me $1,200 to come out there and 30 hours to sit at my desk and try to make that happen in the most detailed way possible, when really that's not what you need.
Right. And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about with hiring an appraiser to determine the value of your home. If you have a decent realtor and you're in a regular like neighborhood, cookie cutter neighborhood and stuff like that, unless the house is super unusual or certain features, any realtor worth their salt can tell you what your house is worth on the open market at that given moment. It might not be the same reasoning is behind as the federal reasoning that you have to use, the metrics you have to use for your appraisal, but realtors know what it's going to take to sell the house. There's been several homes I just sold recently that we were way off on price when we started, and I told them that. And then I told them where I think we should be. And all three of those homes I'm thinking about right now all landed within $5,000 where I thought it was going to land anyway.
Right.
And if you've been doing it long enough, you should be able to do it. So you don't always need to pay for the appraiser.
100%.
But you also should have a realtor good enough that if they know they're not sure, they
Right,
might
that they'll
say,
reach
hey,
out.
I'll pay for the appraiser, Mr.
Yeah.
Seller, so I can make sure that I'm selling the property properly for you.
Right.
It's funny. I just had the conversation this week with one of my peers, another appraiser, and he said, I got a call from a realtor the other day, and she said, I'm trying to sell my own house, and and we both said at the same time out loud, then why are you calling me? Why are you calling me?
Right.
And at the end of the day, sometimes people act like we have some secret crystal ball thing that we look at. Like, if the data's not there, in that instance, he looked at it and he goes, well, you're listed $250,000 higher than 3 comps that are in your neighborhood that you could walk to easily from your front door that are the same model. What's your question? Why am I not getting showings? Because you're $250,000 high.
And realtors are famous for, it's so funny because it's just like, the realtors are famous for overpricing their houses when they're selling
their own homes.
Yeah, their own homes.
Yeah,
they always overprice them. Like, really?
Yeah.
You really? Well, I don't have to sell it. They're just
Well,
like
good, 'cause you're
they're
not
just
gonna.
like everybody else when they're selling. It doesn't matter. All the realtor skills, it all goes away.
When it's your own home. Yeah.
When it's your own home, you become like any other seller.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I got the brand new kitchen. What do you mean my house isn't worth $50,000 more? Right? It's like that kind of thing.
But it's funny. And, and he ended the conversation in his mind, at least, there, I just saved you $500.
Yeah.
In 2 minutes. That wasn't hard. But we do, there are times, like you said, special features, things that are too large. I can think about, there was a home in Atlantis that's over 10,000 under air, and it backs all 3 golf courses.
Oh.
I've got called on that over the years every now and then. I'm like, oh, this house. Yes, I know.
Yeah, I
it's
know that
absolutely unique and impossible.
So let's wrap up with the third thing. So we did, let's just say
the third thing's just, and you've had people on the show talk about it before, but for estate planning, which they're doing that workshop, that's one of the things they're going to be covering. And that's why I might go down there to see if I can help. But doing the step up in basis when you inherit a home so that you don't get crushed on capital gains later when you sell it. That is 40% of my business, probably. A lot of people from out of state inherited it from mom and dad, and maybe there's 3 or 4 kids. So one appraisal, all of those kids can use that for filing their returns, for working with their accountant on their capital gains. So that's a big one too that I do.
Huge benefit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's massive. I think I told you I had a guy late last year whose father had bought the lot for $5,000 in the 50s, and it was worth, they had split the lot between the two. It was worth about $2 million.
Huh.
But he bought it so long ago. This was a really old guy, and this was his father. And, it was like it's in the 50s when he bought it on the beach, almost the beach.
Huh.
$5,000.
Great
Sure.
decision.
Sounds like a good
Pretty
buy.
good ROI.
That's
Yeah,
good
not
ROI.
bad on that one.
Yeah.
You could walk to a public beach, was literally like 100 yards from the house. It's amazing.
Cool. I just sent you, I before we wrap up the show in just a little bit, I just sent you Natalie's information.
Oh, good.
So you guys
Good.
trade
So we
each
can
other.
hook up.
I texted both of you. Just to remind everybody, there's going to be an event at Green Acres City Hall on Thursday at 5:30. It's going to be the Legal Aid Society, the Department of Economic Development for Palm Beach County, a bunch of other groups, and Pangea Multinationals or Multi-Services. They're going to be going over probate, estate planning, ladybird deeds, other kind of issues. So if you have anything that's going on, it's so important to make sure that you have your stuff taken care of with your house. Go over it. This is a free program
free
with free
advice.
attorneys, and maybe even a free appraiser is going to be there because AJ might be there volunteering if Natalie gets up with them. So just make sure that if you have any kind of questions, or if you're either older or your relative's older and you think that you know what you're doing, trying to transfer the property or protecting the property from probate, and you haven't talked to any professional, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So just go to this thing. It's free.
Free.
It's a great free program. We're about that. Free is good.
Yes.
And
So
she
please
said
check it out.
estate planning, so they'll
Estate
give you the
planning,
advice,
too.
even if
Yep.
you have no idea what to do, and go in there and say, "Look, I'm getting end of life here, and I need to figure some things out." It sounds like they're going to have people there to help.
Absolutely.
What an amazing resource. And of course, that's also on Florida Talk Real Estate's Facebook page, the details of that.
Yes.
If you're wondering again, oh man, I didn't get that Florida Talk Real Estate Facebook page, you get all the details for that event on Thursday in Green Acres.
So I know we only got like 6 minutes left or so, but I wanted to talk.
We'll call it 4.
4 minutes. Okay. So we're not going to get into the stuff you spent all that time studying. Sorry about that.
Fine. That's
okay. But I do want to talk about this interest rates. They went up for the first time in 10 weeks.
Well,
Think about that. For 1/5 of the year, we've watched interest rates go down for 1/5 of the year.
And as soon as the Fed cuts the rate, they go up.
It went up.
Well, I guess the bond market kind of indicated that, though. It always that's the indicator. That will tell you what it's going to do.
Now, it didn't go up much, guys. So it's still almost flat. It's 0.04. So it probably cost you 37 cents more on your mortgage
but
payment.
when it goes down 0.04, we say it went down.
Yep,
So
exactly. So we have to say, so this broke our 10-week of either flat or down. This is the first time we actually went up. It was very minor. We're still at the lowest interest rates of all year. So if you're a buyer, you're crazy not to get involved in this. And once everybody starts waking up, because I hear nationally there's 35% more applications for mortgages.
Interesting.
But nobody's calling Florida Talk Real Estate right now. So give us a call. We want to help you buy a home. This is a great time to buy a home. We worked with all our buyers. We're done. We need new buyers. So give us a call.
We got a 4-bedroom, like Southern and Haverhill in Palm Beach County for under $400,000.
For under $400,000. We got a townhome that's going to be roughly $250, 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath for $250.
That's a good entry
and
level.
That's FHA financing because it's a townhome. It's not a condo, right? So there's all these. There's stuff out there. So anybody beaten down saying, there's interest rates are everything's too expensive, sellers won't work with me. None of that's true right now.
Nope.
But it could be true coming up in the future.
And anybody who says this is what's going to happen next month, don't trust them.
Now, the other thing is AJ did do some statistics that kind of reflect what I saw in the monthly statistics. We'll talk about that next week. But AJ saw that you analyzed one neighborhood and you were saying that the prices really haven't changed.
Well, my favorite, Sandalwood, as an example. Yeah, I ran that one there. I looked at what I ran for February when I was here, and the range was like 240 to 280. And right now the range was 250 to 275. So it's this is the range of the medians, not the complete range of the neighborhood.
Right.
But the kind of the most baseline number that I could come up with.
So it's kind of funny. The top went down a little bit, but the bottom went up a little bit. So it's about the same.
But they're medians anyway.
Right.
So
it's
the
about
point
the
is
same.
it's the same. It's the same.
And that's the other thing. We have not seen great price appreciation, sellers. So if this is probably going to be as good as it gets for a little while. And the other thing is from the county stats. I looked really carefully at Broward, Palm, and St. Lucie County. St. Lucie County is the surprising one. It's the weakest of the three markets. Never saw that ever.
Right.
And the whole time we've been on the show, this has never happened.
They got a lot of inventory.
Oh my gosh.
That's probably what's doing it. Right
it's the inventory. And
but the prices, I get so many properties from Port St. Lucie, and when I see the price, I'm like, oh, it's Palm Beach County, and then I scroll down and it's all Port St. Lucie. I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
they're just way overpriced for St. Lucie County.
And what I saw with the three counties, just to leave off on this, is the three counties. What I saw is for our median sales price right now, like Palm Beach County, I have it memorized. It was $630. Our high was last year at $659.9, right? But our low this year was like $615, and our high was $640 something.
So you're right.
So we're right in the middle of like whatever happened over the last 8 months. We're right in the middle. We're not at the high. We're not at the low. And almost every county, I always check 6 counties. They're all the same way. So we're not seeing significant price drops right now.
Everything's been pretty stable. Not everything, but a lot of the market has been very stable.
Well, thank you, guys.
No, thank you very much. And thanks for being with us on a Saturday. I really want you to remember FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. If you're on Facebook, share the page. You never know who you're associated with on Facebook that needs a team of pros. They're, maybe having some issues with their home, or maybe they're thinking about buying or selling, and you just have no idea. You can absolutely change lives, including your very own, with the pros, the team of FloridaTalkRealEstate.com, the one-stop real estate shop that is Again, know it, use it, love it, share it. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. You get amazing people like AJ Hollman with ExperienceAppraisers.com. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend.
Going to start a nice weekend right now.
Yeah, good. That sounds fantastic. Like Jimmy D over here as well. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. The Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovations.
I hope so too.